Welcome to episode 3 of BrewMaster, where we're brewing our own beers. We are on day 1 of the fall. We've just completed our first 2 jobs in our last episode, and we had gotten our first 2 recipes. The recipes we had gotten was the American Pale Ale and the American Stout. So we're going to look at Brewers Quarterly and see what Jeff has for us today and what new jobs and recipes we have. So let's take a look. A fresh season is upon us, brewer, and that can only mean one thing, a new issue of the Quarterly. What's your favorite tipple? I've always been partial to an IPA, and there just so happens to be a job in this issue to brew a hop heavy, sometimes being editor pays off. How about trying your hand at an IPA? It meet the hoppy requirement of the job as well as making this old man happy. Two birds with one brew. And he wants us to brew a beer of the category IPA. And the rewards is we are going to get a picnic cooler, a small picnic cooler, which is basically been converted into our first mash tun, which is what we're going to be using to make all grain brews for the upcoming for our next jobs. Eventually, we'll get better mash tuns, but for our first mash tun, this is what we'll be using. So let's get into it. Oops. So our first job is the requirements is a batch size has to be small, IBU has to be at least 20, and the bonus requirement is the IBU wants to be 30. And hop to it. To celebrate the creation of a new community garden, the organizers are looking for a beer that shows off the importance of hops in brewing. The more bitter the beer, the better. Jeff's tip: bitterness is measured in IBUs and can be increased by using hops with higher alpha acid content, AAC. So our rewards are we're going to go up in mastery. We'll get a garden brews magnet, and then if we can complete the bonus requirement of an IBU of at least 30, we'll get 25 extra beer tokens. And then the second job is a tragically good beer. The requirements are we need to have a small batch size. We need to use at least one hops from Germany, and the bonus requirement is the carbonation has at least 2. The job description is a community theater group are planning, I guess that should be is planning, a daring musical interpretation of Faust and have requested a brew packed with German hops to accompany opening night. Jeff's tip: if a recipe doesn't include German hops, try throwing them in anyway. To increase carbonation, add more corn sugar before the final conditioning phase. And then the rewards are we'll go up in mastery level and then we'll get 50 beer tokens. And if we complete the bonus requirement, we'll get an extra beer mastery. Obviously, we're always going to try and complete that bonus requirement because why not? Um, both of the difficulties for these are easy. So we're going to do both of these jobs because we want both of them. Let's take a look at our recipes. So the recipes that we're getting this issue is the Dunkless Wise Beer. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is a wheat beer. And then the next beer that we're getting is a New England IPA extract. So we're going to be making both of these beers because both of them will fulfill these job requirements. So let's get into it. We're going to do this one first. And this one wants us to do the IPA, I think. So let's get into it. Yeah, IBU is 41.7. This one wants us to have at least a 30 IBU. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing this one first. So let's get into the catalog. We'll look at pinned recipes, and then we're going to buy all of the ingredients that we need. As you can see, we're going to be using a different kind of yeast for this one. And we're actually going to be adding a different kind of wheat, different kind of malt extract as well. So we'll go into our cart. And we're going to be picking up our box. And while we're here, we might as well go ahead and pin this recipe and go into the catalog and buy the ingredients for this one since we're here. And we're getting a different kind of yeast for this one as well. Alright, so we're going to go. Yeah, it was this one that we wanted to do. Alright, let's get our purchases. Alright, let's get to brewing. So our first step, as usual, is to get our water. So we're going to get our brew pot. We're going to put it in the sink. We're going to take the lid off, and we're going to start pouring water in. Alright, let's turn the hob on. Heat that up. And we're going to add malt extract, light malt wheat, and we need 3 kilograms of light malt wheat. Where's our light malt wheat? We need 3 kilograms of light malt wheat. And we need 600 grams of malt wheat. Did I get it? No, I did not. Alright. Oops. Alright, so we're going to add in 600 grams of this. And again, it doesn't matter if we're not exact. The game is pretty forgiving in that regards. Alright, so we're going to dump all of this in. It's getting pretty close to overflowing our little pot here. Oops. And then we're going to get our chocolate steepable grain, which just sounds delicious, doesn't it? Oh, how much chocolate did we need? We need 100 grams of chocolate. And let's heat it up to 100 degrees. We'll speed up time. And it's going down now because it's starting to heat up, so that's good. Alright. So we got that boiling. We'll go ahead and remove this. Whoops. Alright, so we need kaiteri, however you pronounce it, hops. So we need 20 of those. And then we need Huntsman Flight, 60 of those. Huntsman Flight. Alright, so we're going to add in our, however you pronounce this. And we're going to boil that for 50 minutes. So we're going to go to 145. Or 5. And then we're going to add in our second hop. And we're going to boil that for 10 minutes. So we're going to go to 155. And I went a little bit over, but that's alright. And we'll go ahead and mark this off as being done. And then we're going to... We already removed that off. I'm going to go ahead and buy a second... I'm going to go ahead and buy a second pot here. And I went ahead and bought a medium pot. But the reason why is because we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our second beer. And I went ahead and just bought a medium pot because we're going to need a medium pot eventually anyways. Oh yeah. So the medium pot is too large for the sink. So what you have to do is you have to take the lid off. And you can do this in one of two ways. You can either fill up a small pot and just dump it in here. Or what you can do is you can grab a tube, connect the tube to the tap, and then place the tube in the pot, and then turn the tap on, and then your pot will fill up with water that way. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to put in 20. Go ahead and put in 20 liters of water in the pot. We went over quite a bit here. So we're going to pick that up, and we're going to dump out quite a bit of water here. Close enough. And then we're going to go ahead and start heating that up. And then we are going to look at, what do we need here? We need the German beer. So that's the wheat beer here. Alright. So, we need the wheat malt extract, 2.50 kilograms of the wheat malt extract. So we're going to need 3 of that because they don't have 2.5, so we'll have to measure out 2.5. Alright. And then Vienna Crystal, 150. Oops. And then we'll heat our wort to 100 degrees. And is it boiling? It's boiling now. There we go. Now it's boiling. Alright. Now we'll remove our steepable grain. And then we're going to add our Roth Select 10 grams. And then we're going to add in our Ismargad 35. Alright, so with our Roth Select, that's going to go in for 50 minutes. And then this one will go in for 10. And then we'll take both of these out. And we're going to pop this over here. And now we can cool both of these at the same time to 20 degrees. We can go ahead and turn that off. Thank God we did burn the kitchen down, right? And then we're going to transfer both of these to our fermentation containers. So we'll go ahead and pour this into this one. And we'll pour this into this one. Now we're going to add our yeast. So we need Bavarian White Ale 2. And that's going to go into this one. And then the other one is going to get... What kind of yeast do you get? You get North American Ale 1. North American Ale 1 yeast. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pour in your yeast. Pop our lids on. And we ferment for 15 days. Alright, and now we need to add in our sugars. So, for one of these jobs, we needed a high carbonation, so we needed to add a little bit more sugar. So, for this job, we need a carbonation of at least 2. Let's take a look at what the carbonation is for this one. Carbonation's 2.81. That's just above what we want the carbonation to be, and we want 220 sugar, so we're going to add just a little bit extra sugar into it, just so to give us a little bit of an extra buffer, I think. So let's go for 300 sugar. Alright. And then for this one, we need 160 sugar. Do we have enough sugar in this one? We do. So we pour in our sugar in this one. And we went over a little bit, didn't we? Oh well. Alright. Now let's get our conditioning containers. Oops. And we need a tubing, because we already have one tubing out. So we're going to plop these on the floor here. And we'll go ahead and turn these taps on. And then we'll go ahead and get rid of those. And we'll go ahead and put these up on the table. And then we'll go ahead and condition both of these for 21 days. Alright, let's taste and package our beers and see how well we did. That does look like a tasty beer, doesn't it? And our carbonation is at 3.82, so we definitely came in above that 2 carbonation that we wanted. We got an extremely hazy clarity, so we're good there. We have a very malty and sweet beer with a crisp and clean taste. Are all flavors at 2.7, so we're going to work on this. I promise you that we'll get this down. Malty and sweet 6.6, crisp and cleans 13.3, hoppy and bitters are 1.7, and we even got a little bit of fruit and spice in there at 13.2. So it looks like we got some clove, some citrus, some phenolic, some apricot. I don't know if you really want a sulfur taste in your beer. I can't imagine sulfur would taste good. But we got some wheat, some banana, some bread, some floral, herbal flavors going on in there, some earthy, some caramel, some toffee. We got a high alcohol content. Our beer is pretty bitter, so I guess that's pretty good. We have a very heavy body. Um, our contamination is at 4.3%, and again, I don't know what original gravity versus final gravity. I don't know what this means. And we came in pretty good at a dunkless um, Weissbier, so we did pretty good there, I guess. So we'll call this. Whoops, I must have my caps lock on. And as you can see, we picked up our second bottle type here. We have a long neck bottle here now. So let's just change the bottle type there. Whoops. Let's change our glass type to. I don't know what the different type of glasses are for, but I know that we have a wheat beer, and this is like a wheat for a wheat beer. It says so. We'll go with that one, and let's edit our label here. Oh. Beer name text. Where do you change the... beer name text. Scale, that's what I'm looking for. Alright, confirm. Alright, let's submit our beer. Alright, so if we look at if you look right here, this is the German one, I think it was. As you can see, it matches like one of the requirements, but the other two it doesn't match, so it won't let us submit the beer. But now if we look at this one, it matches all the two requirements, and it even matches the bonus requirements, so we'll get all three of our rewards. So we're going to go ahead and submit this one. So we got our 50 rewards, and we went up a new mastery level has been unlocked, so we went up a whole new level. So we're going to actually get even more beer tokens, and we'll get another magnet. So let's just plop our beer bottle right there for now. And then we'll put that there. And then here's our second beer. All flavors were a little bit better on this one. So we got some citrus, some tropical fruit, ester, some lemon, some floral, some grapefruit. So this one's got a little bit going for it. So, and it's a little bit towards the middle of the malty and sweet and the hoppy and bitter. It's got a high alcohol content and a pretty good high bitterness content. So this one should fulfill the content of the other one, and it matches the IPA, the New England IPA. It doesn't match all of the stats. Like it doesn't, the unmatched stats, as you can see, there's 3 unmatched stats down at the bottom. So we're going to hit continue. We'll call this one Gimmer's IPA. Let's do a regular beer bottle for this one. Let's do an IPA glass. And then we'll do this one. And beer name. Confirm. Confirm. And we'll submit the beer. And then as you can see, our IPA does match all three of our requirements. So we're going to get all three of our rewards here. So we're going to go ahead and submit this beer. We'll hit continue. We'll get our little display bottle. So we'll go pick up that one too. And I guess we'll just put it on the shelf over here. We'll unpin. Which recipe do I have? I think it's this one. Yeah, we'll unpin that recipe. Now, like the magnets that we're getting and other decorations, all of that is in here in this furniture cupboard. So if we go into like there's rugs and all of that, like all of our shelves, like we could take all of this stuff and we could put it in here. And then if we were to go into our catalog and go into cosmetics, we could purchase all of the, all of our different stuff here. Our fall different, they got the fall stuff here. And then there's different, other different cosmetics that we can purchase here. And then we could decorate our little living room type area here with them. Here's our delivery box. Here's our magnets that we got. So we can store those. And then if we come over here to our furniture cupboard, they should be in here now. I think they're under this one. Yeah, here's our furniture magnets. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to retrieve them. And then we're in the build mode now. So we can go ahead and we can put our magnets right on our fridge. And then we can go ahead and exit build mode. And then here's our magnets that we have that we collected from completing our two jobs. And then so if we had like a whole bunch of, so let me show you. So if we had like a whole bunch of different ingredients lying about here, and we were just throwing it on our workbench here, and then we just click on this, it would clean our workbench completely up. It would put away all of our equipment and everything. Instead of us putting it away one by one, I just do it as I go along. It's just how I am. But you could just leave it all out, and then as you complete the day, just come over here and clean it all up all at once if you wanted to. That'll work too. So we're going to go ahead and end the season now. And then we have our delivery box. And here is our picnic cooler that Jeff promised us. That is our first mash tun that we'll be using to make our next set of beer. So we're going to go ahead and store this. And I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. If you are enjoying these episodes, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out, and I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, and have a great day.